Hello, weirdos and weirdettes. It's me, Haunted, today. Happy Weird Wednesday. Today we're going to be working on a Linh Ly again. Of course, she's not in frame. Lovely. Uh, so let's get started on that. Llama, how are you doing? Good to see you. So we finally got some confirmation on those legs. Remember, we were talking about the shoes. We thought they were like some sort of weird, some sort of like plate that went up her shin. But apparently, according to the full body artwork, these are just striped socks. And she has like regular shoes that cut off at the ankle kind of thing. So I'm not sure why these two lines on the front of the shin were prominent and then there were no others, but that's what we're going to paint them as, is stripy socks. So that was a shock to me. Like I said, because it was such a prominent seam or edge, whatever, and then not to have any of the other ones. It surprised me that they came out being socks. Am I okay? Let's see here. We may have to adjust focus a wee bit. Okay, there. I think this is going to be my comfy position today. Sorry, we didn't get that part done earlier. All right, let's get started. Need to bring that picture up, actually. I had it. Let's see here. Where did she go? Did Weird Hobby send that to me? Yes, they did. Okay. It looks like it's just like browns and grays, or a dark brown and a black potentially. So yeah, that's what we'll do those as. So I just had to pull up my no, that's fine. I got it. Thank you. Yeah, just had to pull up the reference again. And the weird thing is, like I said, she's shown us wearing gloves, which I did not see that when I did her hands. So we're not going to worry about those today. Gonna get our brush ready here. We got some new brushes, and the Artist Opus brush was not really performing the way I liked, so I put some starch on it, or not starch, but conditioner. Let it sit while shaped for a few days. We'll see how it runs, at least initially. And Captain Sneezy Pants is here, in case y'all were worried. So how is everybody's Weird Wednesday going so far? Mine's all right. I'm really tired of rain, and I know everybody else is too. Ready for some sunny, warm weather to come back. And I'm not a huge sun fan. I am definitely 100% a vampire, which is surprising since I work outdoors. But I, especially considering my complexion is that of a ghost, I wear sunscreen and long sleeve shirts whenever, as long as I can, and gloves and stuff like that. So I limit my exposure, but I'm still I still do like sun, at least enough that it keeps me from falling asleep, which this rain just makes me so sleepy. The rain's very pretty. You're so strange. You're a strange one. No, I've had a couple friends that actually really like the rain too. I am definitely not one of those. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do this leather color. Well, this isn't nice. Yeah, it's very strange. We'll do this color, I think. And I'm still not liking this brush at all. It has like zero snap. The bristles do not come together worth a flip. They splay at the first bit of pressure. I'm not happy. It's pretty shameful for a $24 brush. I'm going to go back to my $55 set of brushes I got and use those, I think. This is one of the new ones. I bought this Artist Opus Series 1, Size 1, $24, and it's just I've seen $2 brushes that work better than this thing. It's garbage. I hate it. But the Foxbite ones that are $55 for a set of 7 brushes seem to be working a lot better. So that's what we're going to switch over to. But we'll be using the number 1 today instead of we were using the number 2 quite a lot on my stream this weekend, and it did really well. So we're going to switch over to the 1 and see how it works today. Yeah, I know. I am a brush licker. Just going to get some of that starch out. I tell you, it's very warm today. I feel like maybe I should split that one in 2, but that would throw off my pattern. So I don't know what I'm going to do. It's a very wide one, very wide stripe. She's wearing brown and black socks, or brown and black striped socks. So we can go brown or black on the shoes. Looks like the artwork has them as brown leather. So that's probably what we'll do. Unless anyone has an offer for why others would be better. Now this black is not like 100% black. It has a very tiny amount of brown mixed in with it. I did this when I was working on some wooden objects that needed painting. So just continuing it on with this because I figure we don't need stark black. We just need a black. And since it's got a little bit of that brown mixed in with it, it should work pretty well. Okay. Got that one slot kind of laid in pretty well. Are we keeping it in frame pretty well? I know I'm kind of zoned in focusing on the model, so if I'm falling out of frame, please let me know. We'll try and correct. Hey, Bashil, how are you doing? Cool. All right, appreciate it. You're all tapped. I understand. You got to do the work. Appreciate it, though. Hanging out with me. I think I'm going to have to break out the old bug glasses here in a minute. I know those aren't the prettiest things, but they get done what I need done, which is seeing details. I'm doing pretty good. I'm starting to work on an arc in my backyard because of so much rain. You may as well. The neighbors look at me like I'm crazy, but you know, whatever. I'm kidding, but I definitely feel like I should be building an arc. Okay, so we got that. The cuffs are just turned up material from the leggings, no different color, it looks like. So so we'll just do them kind of like a lighter gray. We've kind of got our color set already there. We could do them a little blue gray. That would kind of look cool. I think we might do that just to kind of offset the kind of black and white theme we got going on here. You had some rain here in Sweden? 9. Thank you. Appreciate that. She's one of my favorite miniatures right now. As far as like the character / sculpt. I'm actually hoping to get some games in with her soon. Got a lot of little spots I missed last week. I guess I was at that point I was rushing kind of, and there's a lot missing her hair, so we're just gonna touching that up while we got that black color. We'll drop our brush out, get up any dust here. Oh, really? There. What a ding dang. Now that looks like a fold there, doesn't it? Sure does, but she doesn't have one on the other one. That's very odd. She's not your kind of master? Well, the funny thing is, I love anything Asian themed, right? Yeah, I got the big 4-foot, Asian fan here in this room, just right over there. You probably can see it. I'm a huge fan of anything Asian looking, and but when it comes to Malifaux, we have a whole faction of Asian themed models, and I have very few of them, which is very surprising. I see the line on this back of the calf here. I was talking about how there was only one on the front. I actually see it here. But anyways, I have Misaki and Mayfang. Now I'm looking to collect Story. Now, do you just not like her play style, or do you not like her aesthetics, or the model's aesthetics that are in her group, or other? What's the reasoning, if I may ask? Because she has a more support version, and then she's got kind of the more beat sticky version. So I'm guessing it's not play style. It's more aesthetics to you. Like a master that is trick plays and Smash Mouth, Saki, Terra. Okay. Yeah, so she's not super duper tricky. That's, I think, part of the reason why she sort of appeals to me, because I'm not a good player yet. I'm not a super good player, so I need something a little bit easier to get my head around. You've only played for a year. Well, you probably got more games in that year than I've gotten in the time since. Oops, wait a second. We have 2, so we got that way too wide, don't we? How are we going to do that? You probably got more games in that time than I have in the 4 years that. So 2020 or 2019, the M3 came out. Seems like it's 2019 because we started started having the problems with the shipping early on. So yeah, I think it was 2019. Friends counted it as about 120 games in, which is in more than a year. That is a pretty hefty little record there, my friend. So yeah, that explains some of it. I have less than 15 games in that length of time, and like since M3, I had about 15 games. So yeah, you got me beat there quite a lot. I'm unfortunately more a painter than I am a player. I want to be a player, but I'm just not that. And you're just tipping your toes. Jeez. Whale. I'm going to see if I can get these lines straightened out the way they should be. I think I kind of food barred that up. Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have time. You're playing so many games. You got to get that practice in. So that's why I say it's like you tend to be one or the other. Like you're either a really good painter or you're a really good player or you're mediocre at both. It's hard to be good at both because they both take time, right? Trying to figure that out. Have we got that straight? Doing striped socks with no lines, thick striped socks. I should have, I should have just done little thin stripes. It would have been a lot easier. Because I did the doctor's pants in Parker Crew did his, and they were just little pinstripes, so they were really easy. Well, I mean, I think they're supposed to be like trouser socks, but yeah, I mean, pantyhose, trouser socks, whatever. But yeah. Trying not to get on my blue there. And we did it anyways. How about that? Wait, no, we didn't. I think we got lucky. Whew. I thought I touched it, but I hadn't. Yeah, this does not have a seam. This is if anything, it had a seam in the front because there was a seam here on either side of the calf. That's why I thought she had like some sort of shin plate because there was nothing on the either side beyond that, and so I thought it was like a greave that went up her shin, right? Uh, but the artwork shows it as striped socks, so that's what we're painting it as. Okay. Well, got her where. Whoop. There went a stray brush stroke. We'll correct that here in a second. All right. So there's about in. Now we'll just have to kind of touch them up here and there, make sure they all go right. Try and even up the widths a little bit. So while I'm working on this, I'm going to talk about something kind of brainless. I started playing a game this weekend. Got it for my Switch. It was it's on sale, I think, through the 26th, if I remember right. It's called Tunic, and it's kind of like the original Zelda if Link were a fox and it was set in an isometric style, Dark Souls style platformer kind of thing. Very good. Starts out really kind of chill and easy and then ramps up quite quickly. The only reason I say it's got some Dark Souls elements to it is because you do lose some stuff if you die, and if you manage to make it back to the place where you died, you can collect it again. So there's risk in dying, where you didn't really have that with Zelda. I mean, if you died, you just had to start over, recollect your hearts, but otherwise you didn't like lose your coins or anything like that, and you do with this one. So there's risk in dying, but there are little save spots relatively frequent. So it's a fun little game. I've enjoyed it so far. Have not gotten super far into it, but definitely worth the 20 clams for sure. And I think it's you can get it on Steam as well. So if you don't have a Switch but you have Steam, you can pick that up then for it as well. Works with your standard controllers. Okay. You going to the States? In 2 weeks, would love a game over there. I am sure, depending on your location, that should not be a problem. Not sure where you're heading, but Houston, Texas has a hearty meta. So if you're going that way, you're going to be okay. Michigan has a pretty good meta. Not sure about the other places. Pennsylvania. Don't know anybody in Pennsylvania that plays. But sure you could probably drop, like a message in the Play Weird channel. Say, hey, I'm going to be visiting Pennsylvania. Any Pennsylvaniaites here that want to drop down a game? Let me know. I'm sure you'll find somebody. You asked a couple times with cold response. Well, dang, I guess there just may not be that many people there. Sorry. It's so humid right now. I'm literally sticking to my play mat here that I'm working on. No moisture on it, just the moisture that's in the air is making me stick to it. You got stuff to do and see anyway, so it's not a problem. That makes sense. Well, I'm glad you have other things to work on. Yeah, man, that's part of the reason I hate rain. I hate humidity. Like, give me, dry heat. Give me cold, but don't make it hot and sticky wet. Just gross. Sorry, we're spending like 20 minutes per leg on these stupid stockings, tights, socks, whatever the hell they are. Keep seeing places they need to be corrected. Mm. Oops. Wow. That was a bad little hitch there. I wonder if that was my internet or Weird's or just Twitch. Twitch being Twitch. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. I wish you were in one that we knew some people in, so you could get a taste for a different meta. Because they definitely play differently, from my understanding. To get people adopt their style to the opponents they face. So if you don't face those opponents, you're not going to have a style adopted to them. Okay, good Lord. I think I'm done with those for now. Okay. Now let's get back in here and work on these pants a little bit. We're going to do some neutral gray and some London gray and some Eclipse gray. That's it. How did that go? Seven six. Last action buried a void hunter and denied hidden murder. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to get into working on those pants a little bit. Just kind of bringing some consistency to these folds here. We did a wash initially, and so we have a nice little color change here, but it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Grainy, I think. So we're just trying to kind of smooth that out a little bit. Need to go. Have a great day. All right. Well, thank you, Vashtil. Have a great day, and thank you for hanging out. We have a little bit of dry paint, right? I don't know how that got on her, but that is in there, apparently. Yeah. It is in that blue. I don't know how that got there. See if we can fix that. I can do it here on these because they're in the highlight. But I'll have to mix that other color up. Well, maybe not. There's a little ridge there I can cover it. But wow. I don't know how those got on there. There was little white speckles right here on her front of her dress or tunic. And I was trying to get rid of those, Solana. I was not attacking her. She was perfectly safe. Okay, this is a little bit of a London gray mix with the Eclipse gray. That's what we're doing now. I think we're probably going to end up painting those cuffs in. A little bit darker. Maybe not quite as dark as the pants. Because, you know, like inner material, like on blue jeans and stuff, is lighter than the exterior, so. But we will probably come in and repaint because we had quite a few little brush strokes from those stripes coming across them. So we definitely have to touch them up some. And right here on the hips, I'm going to bring in a little bit of highlight there too. Material will definitely be stretched there. Okay. Go back to a little Eclipse gray on the other side real quick. I'm really anxious for this box set to come out, the core box. I was hoping it was this month, but it's next month. Sniff, sniff. Now, if my friend Dragon were here, I could tell him that he's interested in Castor is going to be this month, supposedly. So that's a pretty good looking set too. As much as I'm kind of tired of the demon trope, almost like vampires and werewolves, those have just been done to death. But the Castor box does look really nice. Okay. All right, let's get this little bit here on the leg. Kind of like a seam. There we go. All right, and then we'll just come in with the Eclipse Gray and catch it from here down. Okay, now we'll take some London Gray, just London Gray here. And do a few highlights here. That, friends and family, is Captain Sneezy Pants. You know him, you love him. The cat with the chronic sneeze condition. Bless you again, cat. Just kind of catching that seam as it comes down. Okay. Try and repair that little seam. Just a wee bit there. Okay. Get in here and do some brown. We're going to do some brown on those keys because they're going to be gold. Oh, we got this color already. Never mind. Don't need that one. Go ahead and just paint those in real quick. Probably could have just gone straight to the yellows without doing much of this brown. They're pretty small. So yeah, we will probably paint over 90% of that brown with the yellow ochres and stuff like that, but still wanted to do them in the normal color scheme first. Very quiet today. Okay, just get the little ring here. Yeah. Well, I mean, I have been a little bit more quiet than normal because I've been trying to work on details. That's true, but it is exceptionally quiet in here. I didn't do my usual social media blast today, so that kind of is my fault. Who is under the brush today? This is a Linh Ly. It is a new model. Yes, you're right. New-ish. She came out, was it November, October, August? I guess August was the earliest because she came with Gen Con. But yeah, she is in the Untold Tales box that has Damien's beat stick version, his Unbound model, and then Linh Ly is here, and Mia Murakami is also in there. They are they're 10 Thunders. Mia is Arcanist 10 Thunders, and Linh Ly is 10 Thunders. So, yeah, it kind of has like a split faction. So the Mia figure works with either Arcanist or 10 Thunders. Plan on being at the bookstore Friday if any of your like a demo people are in the area. Okay, I'll let Crow know because he's closest to you. Dragon's still closer to me, so he'll more than likely make it my way rather than that way. Oh yeah, I haven't looked all over. Mostly play Guild. I own half the masters for everything. I hear you. Oh, I was wondering why I couldn't see anything. I took my glasses off. Hold on. That's what happened. Okay. So let's get back into our golds here. Dirty, dirty Guild. Of course, most people say dirty, dirty Arcanist, but, to each their own. So now we're just kind of coming in with this this yellow gold here and working on the keys some. Now, if these were larger pieces, I would probably be doing, some blends between the gold and the brown and stuff like that to kind of get some transitions going. But they're relatively small, so we're going to see some steep jumps in color. If you ever be a Sonia Sim. Sonia was actually one of my first outside of faction, my initial faction. I started out with Neverborn, and she was one of the first that I stepped out to. But I've never actually played her. I just, I own the boxes, but haven't done anything with them. Fire. Yeah. Exactly. I'm a little firebug at heart. Her and Karis appeal to me greatly. Like I said, never played them, but they appeal to me. Burn all the things. Yep, that's it. Then you can always come back to your 40K buddies and say, look, I'm burning the heretics. And they'll congratulate you and you'll be all happy and stuff. Burnate the countryside. Was it Trogdor? Trogdor the Burninator? Burninating the countryside or something like that. Working some of this ice yellow around here. Hey, Haunted Hollybot, some kind of fancy black and white paints. You want to try some? You got little bitty paint containers you can bring whenever we actually get the chance to lunch. Sure. I think I have some little spare bottles here and there. What's fancy about the black and white paints? I'm curious. They take she was really excited about them. They take more than one layer, so I don't have the patience for it. I'm curious. I'm curious now. Because I'd actually, with that new Von Stuck box coming out, the idea of monochrome painting is kind of formulating up here. Because I know a lot of people are doing it. Everybody's talking about doing, monochrome. Because fine, that's great. But I've been trying to think about what would work best that way, how to best achieve it. So these are made for doing thin layering work with black and white. It might be a good idea to look at them. Assuming, of course, we can meet up before that box comes out. The rate we're going doesn't look good. So we're just hitting these little tips and accents with a little white. We got way too much water in that brush, so it was kind of out of control. Now should be a little bit better. Okay, there's those keys done. I guess we should probably work on the cuffs, and then we'll work on shoes, and that way we can kind of have her lower body done at this point. So let's work on the cuffs a little bit. Coming in with some London gray. That's the word I'm looking for. We'll fade that back into Eclipse gray, probably. So is anybody else working on a project right now? Something painting related, something Malifaux related? You know who we haven't seen in here in 100 years, or at least in the streams that I do, is Mackenzie. We've not seen them in ages. some thinned eclipse gray here, and work backwards from that. There we go. A little bit of work there. I'll do the same thing here. We'll bring the thinner gray that way, and then we'll bring it this way, dragging it back. Back to the thin eclipse. There we go. Okay, now I'll start working on some highlights. So I'll come in with some neutral gray. Damn, that looks the exact same as my London gray. Maybe I got the wrong one. Let's see here. Let's mix a little white in. Now we'll work on some edge highlights here. Get it up a little bit more on top at this point here. So it's like that lip is catching the light rather than what's beneath it. And that works pretty good. We'll do the same on the other side. Not from all the way around because, you know, it's a little bit more darkness there. Sorry, I might not have been on camera there for that first little bit. Okay. I am, as always, disappointed in lack of glitter and purple toe socks. The rest of it's very free. Well, thank you. One of these days, we will have to paint a glittery model for you. I don't know what we'll do, but we'll have to paint one of them that way. Tell you what, if I ever do a bust of a female model, maybe I'll do some like glittery eyeshadow or something like that, because that would actually fit in with it, right? Would that be acceptable, Llama? I said one of these days when I do like a female bust, like a large sculpt, 75 millimeter or bigger, something like that. Then I'll do some like glittery eyeshadow or something, because that would be like appropriate, glittery makeup. No, you don't want it where it's appropriate. Okay, I get it. That's cheating. Sparkly red shoes. That's from a story. You do have a point there. And she does have red glasses. I guess we could do the ruby red slippers. I don't think that's the kind of story they have, but it's possible. I know I said I was going to do her shoes brown. I think I'll probably end up doing them black, though. Just to have some nice separation there on the hosiery. You're not going to get me. Stop teasing about glitter. I promise me something totally rational. All right. I had to try. I had never seen The Wizard of Oz until I think I was 20 or 21 when I first saw it. Despite it being like my mom's absolute favorite movie, I've seen The Wiz, the one that had Michael Jackson in it, when I was like 8 or 9, I think. It was back when Michael still had the big fro. Back when he was in the Jackson 5. But yeah, that I'd seen The Wiz, but had not seen The Wizard of Oz until I was almost 20 or 21 years old. I had read the books, and there are multiple. I think there's 14 books overall in the series. My adoptive sister put me on them. So I guess I felt like since I'd read the books, I didn't really need to see the movie. No, it's something so integral to our talking. It doesn't even really bother me. I kind of come to expect it now. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try and give you excuses or that I'll roll my eyes or whatever, but yeah, don't stop on my account. I think they actually go up a little bit higher. It's hard to tell because the paper kind of covers them. But I think these might actually be wrinkles or laces. So we'll just bring them up just a little bit more. There we go. Think that'll work. I honestly can't tell you much about the Wizard of Oz books. I remember probably the biggest one was the Princess of Oz, Ozma. Started out as Jack. Their parents had magically transformed them into a boy so that they would avoid detection by the witches or something like that. Which was, pretty radical thinking for the time period, I guess. So that's about the only thing I remember from the books, other than, the sheer number of them. All right. So we're just cutting in these shoes here. Get these shaped properly. There's a little bit back here in this heel that didn't get painted. The sculpt actually attaches there to the books, so I'm not concerned about painting that spot right there. Because I'll probably have to scrape it with a little bit of a knife action to get the glue to stick. Okay. Now we can do some highlights on those. We have Discord messages. What are they about? Okay, I think that's all. Just want to make sure it wasn't something important that I needed to adopt real quickly. All right, so back to screenshot that I had for reference. Okay. Well, good. I was a little worried too. I think once I make a separation here between the shoes and the socks, I think they'll be okay then at that point. We have a nice definition with the cuff, and then if we define the shoes, I think they'll be okay. But yeah, it was very strange. I was the way the sculpt looked with none of the other lines showing. Just it screamed like shin guard or greave or whatever you want to call those things. Bum, bum, bum. What colors do we want? We'll do some Dark Reaper. That's kind of our usual black highlight. And let's see here. Come here and catch these little toesies. And the heels a little bit. Ooh, folks, I'm getting a monster headache. I may have to take a break here in a moment and go get a stand back and a Pepsi, Coke, whatever. Keep you apprised. Okay, yeah, I think that's starting to separate it out a little bit. I'm probably going to clean up a couple of lines, but I think that will work. Had a revelation about how to do a Resort themed version of the Gator book if I ever get around to it, but I'll need gray paper, and that seems to be rare. Have you thought about making your own? I mean, that could be a whole new craft project in of itself. Learning how to pulp and make paper, and then of course dyeing paper or bleaching it, then dyeing it the color you want, whatever. Just a thought. I meant pulping and making your own paper, bleaching it, and then dyeing it. But it'd be a cool project. I mean, it's like making your own book from scratch, 100%. Not only the paper, not only the drawings, but the paper and the bindings and everything. Be a hell of a one-off project. Of course, it'd be like, I hate to say, but tarot deck style uh, commitment. Getting it smooth and firm enough to hold ink. Yeah, that would probably be very true. It's something I've always been interested in. I've always wanted to get into uh, bookmaking, book binding, um, and making homemade paper. Just sounds interesting as hell. Like something that's good in OCD for me. I just haven't ever gotten around to it. But if I do, I'll let you know. Yeah. But to me, they're both kind of a hand in hand thing. Okay, so we got that. I guess that makes sense. Smoother and stuff. So I guess it would just depend on how well the paper was made. If I could get it to the smoothness level that would work for you. And of course, that would probably depend, probably greatly, you know, limit what you could do with the paper for looks. You wouldn't be able to have any, you know, pressings in it or anything like that, because that would throw off the texture of the paper. Really? Okay. We got a clog here. Give me just a second, folks. Okay. And we're going to try and mix a little bit of this Reaper with some Fenrisian and see how that works. And for my silly little drawing project, I'd much rather not spend that much time making paper to say nothing of the time and the frustration. 300 plus. Yeah, I mean, but I don't think it's a silly project. I think it's a neat project. But it would then be a one-off if you did that. It'd be something that, be a copy of one. Other than, if you digitize it. If you digitized it, then everybody could share in it. But otherwise it'd be a one and done if you did the paper thing. Okay. Here we got a little bit of the Fenrisian gray mixed with some of our dark Reaper. Just kind of define the shoe bits a little bit better here. You'll make me a blank book one day. Get this menace out of your system. There you go. You did make me or gave me a homemade booklet at one point, I think. I don't know if you, I don't think you made the paper, but you bound the little book together. There we go. So her shoes are defined now. I think those will work. Probably that store-bought paper because I am sane. Super funny that I'm the insane one now because I want to make paper. Okay. So I think the pants and the shoes and the keys are done. The tunic's pretty well done. We still got to do freehanding on it, but I think that's done. So I'm going to move on to, I think, let's see here. These actually are not gray. They're actually dark blue, it seems like. So we may be correcting those a little bit too. And I need to smooth this a little bit out as well. You wouldn't wish that. Making art can be fun. Yeah, I get that. I wasn't even thinking about how the lack of any significant press is going to be able to make a drawable surface, because you got to think that the presses that they use in an actual paper mill are going to be hundreds of tons, and that's nothing you can replicate at home. To say nothing of the stuff that you put in the paper, it's probably not going to be as fine a grind or anything like that. So it makes sense. It makes sense. My little brain doesn't want to hear it, but it makes sense. I think actually, I take that back. I think this is going to be like that dark reaper color. I think that would work really well here. It's got that blue, but it's also got the gray. I think that could work very nicely. And that keeps it from looking too stark in places, right? Yeah, I think that's going to work. Sorry, my nose has a mind of its own today. All right, lay that down. Now we'll come in with some of the Fenrisian Dark Reaper mix, and we'll paint those little ridges. Ruffles have ridges, and I cannot roll my R's to save my soul, so deal with it. Okay, so far so good. I like that this allows me to use the color I just mixed for the shoes to work for the sleeves. Oopsie, should have connected from this side. That line got kind of messy in the sculpt. Okay, yeah, that'll work there. Hey, Weird Hobbies, are you here? You are indeed. Okay, got a question for you. Not weird related, but I know you like to do a lot of RPGs. Did you see the Magical Girl RPG that was under Kickstarter recently? You know, like the Sailor Moon, whatever kind of thing. You're so tempted to back it. I think it's still going, but yeah, I was too. I never watched Sailor Moon, but Madoka Magica, that was one I actually did watch because it was, it was a dark magical girl story. And it had me really interested that was one of the ones they named in their theme pack. But I was just thinking, I was like, I bet Weird Hobbies would have been into that. You have a Sailor Scout cease that needs stats. There you go. Exactly. I feel sure that somebody in the Gigabytes arena has bought that book set. Because I know for a fact they had a huge brony population at one time. So I'm almost positive they have a huge magical girl fandom as well. That just does not look nice and clean on this side, does it? Look pretty and clean from the other side, not so clean from this side. That could be problematic. We may just have to touch up in between. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to paint these ruffles, has ridges things here. And not get them all over the place. I don't understand why they look good from one direction, but not the other. It's a very odd situation. It's almost like the lines are doubled. That one I know I got off. That one was a bad one to start with. Okay. Just touch up. Just have to touch them up like I was doing on the other side, I think is what we'll do. Have you ever seen Madoka Magica? Weird Hobbies? Oh, okay. So you get introduced to this, magical girl kind of thing, and they're, fighting evil, bad things that do, horrible, horrible things to the world and stuff. And the whole thing is you find out at the end that those bad monsters that they're fighting are former magical girls because over time the magical girls become corrupt, spending their life to fight the bad things. They lose the innocence and become corrupted, and then and turn into the things that they fight, basically. It's pretty damn cool. I mean, it was drew me in like instantly. And I know that was probably a hell of a spoiler, but not your normal thing to watch anyway. So, but yes, it's definitely even knowing that it's worth a watch. Spoilers never bother you. That's good. That's good. My friend's the same way. Me, I get bummed with spoilers. Not so much on things like that, but like Marvel movies. Oh, don't spoil a Marvel movie. I will never speak to you again. All right, there we go. Got that arm done. Now we're gonna drop some Fenrisian gray on this other side here. Gotta say, guys, I'm really, really digging these brushes. I've only had about 4 hours use with them, but I think they're going to be my new workhorse. At least until somebody else comes along and makes a better brush. Okay. Doesn't really show what color those clasps are on her tunic. I imagine they're probably bone. They could be jade, but probably bone. What do we want to do? Touch up some of these little wrinkles here, I think. That's the first thing I'll do. I actually may come in and touch up these sleeves a little bit later. Now that I got some brushes that will make a point. Let's go ahead and do them little claspies, little bone doodads on her tunic. I think I'm probably going to come back and smoke around them with a little navy wash or possibly even a black wash to make them stand out a little bit better before we do any filling in of details for them. I want to get those cut in. I was thinking they could be ties. They could be knots like what's up on her shoulder too. Could be little bows of knots, and that could be a problem. But oh well. We're doing it my way. I'm taking the Frank Sinatra road today. Let's see, where's my Drakenhall? There's my Drakenhall. I'm going to set that aside there. Get a little bit of paint or wash here. Way too much. Yeah, it kind of helps define them a little bit. I think that helps. Probably do some down the seam of that tunic as well. They could use a little definition, right? Not following the art. Pixel by pixel. Well, I have no idea what the box art is because her front end is turned around, right? So I can't see the front of her tunic. So I am wildly guessing here. I do break the rules occasionally. Not often, but I do. I mean, I do. I break them all the time, but not when it comes to painting. I don't know why. Oh, we need to go back. Wrong brush. Wrong brush. Crow, how are you doing? Welcome in. You made it before the end of the stream. I mean, you're in the latter third, but you made it before the end. Welcome in. How are you doing? Little improvements. I hear you. I hear you. See here. Now we'll do a little little ivory on those bones. Same. Looking forward to a day with no rain. If we'll ever get one, that would be great. It's been a central focus of today's talk. You talk about how the rain is driving me nuts, making me so sleepy. Like I yawn nonstop now. Been waiting all week and no rain to paint. Or no rain to paint. I don't know. I don't want to drought, but yeah, exactly. It's rather funny. Generally, we have crap loads of rain. And as soon as I put the garden in, after like the first week, the rain is gone, right? The garden in for weeks. And it's just keeping on and keeping on and keeping on. Like, oh, wow. I mean, the squash and zucchini plants, like 6 of them each produce almost a bushel and a half every day. That's a lot of squash and zucchini to keep up with. Like you can't even give that amount away. Okay, those are done. You may need to, everybody may need to look into getting an airbrush and a filtration extraction system. Anybody that's using rattle cans, just get you an airbrush because I think this is going to be a year full of rain. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but also not a great thing if you're a hobbyist. Let's see here. Could work on the scrolls a little bit. I wish I could find my bottle of this. Like I have a bottle in a dropper bottle. You know what? I could just make one. Real quick. I'm sorry to take this detour here, but I don't want to mess with that big old bottle. I'm just going to find me. There we go. Got a funnel. And got the caps. Do this real quick. Sorry about that. Normally I would have this not being done on stream, but I need this wash. And I don't want to sit there and try to paint out of the tub with it. So this was the stuff that last stream it was all mud on the bottom, and I got the electric paint stirrer in it and fixed that up, so it's not weird like that anymore. So we got a little funnel in here. I'm gonna try and pour a little bit into that funnel. Got a little bit on my mat. Oh well. God, wow, we got a lot on the mat. But that's okay. I have some wash now. Normally I would do that a little bit better, but time constraints, right? away. Give me a little paint nipple put in there. Get wash all over my fingers. Okay. So now we finally have some sepia wash that is not in the pot. So that's good. Saves me some time. Now, that stuff is uber duper sticky. So there we go. Now I have wash. Buy a dropper. Good, good, good. Something to hold some. There we go. I actually bought those little 10 milliliter bottles to do oils with, to make some pre-mixed oils. And I never actually did, so. One of these days, it's a get around to thing. I've been thinking, looking, watching, trying to decide whether I want to try and use oils again. The project I've been looking at doing them on is one they would lend themselves well to, but I do need a few more colors, mainly because she is so bright. And I'm thinking about doing Mei Fang, the 1988 box set, because it's all, metal and chrome and neon lights and stuff. I'm thinking about doing it with oils that I have. I can do blending properly and get some really nice NMM effects, as well as some, glow on there. Because there's not just, glow from objects, but there's like the kind of underglow from things being lit below. And I think that would lend itself really well to oils. Also, Crow's that one that was near you that Mike could meet up at the library for demos, potentially. The nice thing about this wash is like the more you use it, the more staining it does. So you just kind of have to keep layering it on. Yeah, I was going to say that's pretty freaking fancy, I think. I mean, his is still done more handcrafty than some people. They just print all the parts out and call it done. Printers have made things a lot easier in the cosplay arena, for sure. Yeah, I mean, exactly. That doesn't make it not cool. I agree. I am down with that. Okay. Green Llama. We don't art shame here just because you use rattle cans. I mean, have you seen some of the beautiful stuff that people do on the walls with rattle cans? Like, I would kill to be able to do that. I love that style of artwork. I can't do it. I have no idea how they get those things, how they have the control and the layering, what color goes first. But I love, the wall art that people do with the rattle cans. All right, we're going to work on Linh Ly's hair a wee bit, So, starting out with some Rhinox hide. I wish her hair had a little bit more texture. I mean, it's got some nice ridges in here, but like I wish they were just a smidge more raised. That way we could do some dry brushing on the hair to save time. But with this model, no such luxury, folks. You're painting individual hairs. Oh, dear Lord. We're going to be at this a while. This is like 3 hours of work just in her hair. So this is probably be the last little bit we see on her on stream because we'll finish it. We're not going to do a third stream on her. But we'll finish her up off stream because, like I said, I'm wanting to try this model out on the table pretty soon, especially since the core box is coming soonish. What I'm using on this hair is Rhinox hide. I know typically what people do with Asian hair is they do black and then blue highlights. Usually like a very dark blue, like a navy blue kind of thing. But I found when I started doing the Oni keyword, I'd done them most of the 10 Thunders words up to that point with blue highlights. And when I went to the Oni keyword, Asami, had that really cool mouth and the hair that was almost animated like a mouth, like tentacles around it. And I decided to try doing a brown highlight, and I really like the brown highlight. And if you see Asian hair in real life, it can have that kind of shiny blue highlight, or it can have a more normal or more natural brown highlight. So it's not something that you won't see. It's just generally you see it depicted as the blue highlight. So I kind of like the brown. especially if they've dyed their hair. Now, if they've dyed their hair, then they're going to have that kind of brownish highlight once the dye starts wearing off, because you kind of damage the hair when you dye it. I'm actually looking forward to really painting. Is it Storyteller or is it Bibliocatheria? I can't think of. Yeah, it's the Biblio one that comes in the core box that I really want to paint, because she's wearing that kind of. She's wearing more of my colors than fuchsia colors, and has those little like lantern cats. I don't know what you call them. With the big eyes that provide the light, and I don't know, it just looks like a fun model, a more casual, fun model. And I really like the calligrapher, not the calligraphers, the crap, what's their name? Can't think of their name. Goodness, that took a long time. My phone needs a restart, I think. Bookkeeper, that's the dang word. I was trying to think. I like the way that they're. This one's not so suspended from books, but like this one, kind of straight from. I don't know if you've ever seen The Magicians, but that's like straight off their title page. That girl kind of flowing backwards, and then this one here that's hanging upside down by pages. He just cracks me up. So I'm looking forward to these guys. That was a show that ended way too early. They had one of their main characters was basically tired and wanted to spend more time with his family, so he had them kill his character off. And the show only went one more season. It's like, dude, you could have stuck it out one more season. So they had to kill off one of the main characters, and then the next season they were done. But it wasn't one of those, like unsatisfying deaths, that's just sudden and brutal and serves no purpose. Like they actually kind of became a hero for once. I'd always been kind of a sniveling, whiny little brat, and in this, they actually, were kind of a hero for once. Even though they were the main character, they were always kind of annoying, to say the least. But at the same time, you didn't want them going away either, because MC, they're the one the story flows from. Kind of need to go back and work on the other side again. Oh, the main character from the Magicians. If you've seen the show, you know who I'm talking about. But he decided he wanted to be off the show so that he could spend more time with his new family. So he and the writers wrote in an exit strategy, killed him off in a very kind of heroic way. And then the very next season was the last season, so it's like he could have stayed around. one more season, 6 months of filming. I guess we're good to get as many seasons as we did, considering it was on Sci-Fi Channel. They have a habit of destroying anything after 3 seasons, kind of like Netflix. That's a good question. I think if he hadn't left, the show could have continued a lot longer because they were really starting to build up the supporting cast. Or it could have been they knew he was leaving and they started building them up so they could carry the show. I'm not sure which. It could be either or. It could have been set up for that to be the final season, anyways, or it could have been that they just didn't see it carrying on without him, so it started wrapping it up. I'm not sure. It could have been either way. My only real question from it is what exactly does Lev Goldstein, or whatever his name is, the guy that wrote it, have against cats? Because they blew up at least 50 cats in that series. Obviously, not for real, but in the story, the special effects team blew up about 50 cats. I'd like to know what he had against cats. That took some getting used to as a cat person. Why all the cat hate, dude? Okay, I'm just working toward the tail end of the hair here. The details are getting blurrier. Very, very blurry. Okay. Just on the tip of the hair now. Okay. Got that hair blocked in with the first bit of color, the Rhinox hide. Now, we're going to come in through. Do we want to do... I can do... We can do Doom Bull as the next highlight, which is kind of a more orangey, rust brown kind of color. Or we can just go with this leather color, which is a little less intense, but it won't show up quite as much either. So it's this leather brown. It's lighter than Rhinox, but kind of still in the same family. So the highlights won't be as poppy, but they'll look more natural. What do we want to do? Let's use this one too. Flat leather brown. Let's see what that looks like real quick. We're deciding real quick on brown highlights which color we want to use. I think I'm going to use that over this, and so we're down to these two. I think this is obviously y'all probably can't see that. That's obviously the more natural. This is flat brown, and this is Doom Bull. This is going to be poppier, but that's going to be more natural. I think what we might do, we'll try a little bit of both and see. How about that? That's probably the best way to do it. Ooh, whoopsie. We had a paint cap topper doodad fly out. That was interesting. Yeah, whoopsie. Okay, so let's try the flat brown first. I don't even think we need to try the other. I think this is it. This is the color we'll use for the highlights. Yep. That's what we'll do. So sorry about doing boring little hair, but hair is important too, guys and girls. Let's see here. Oopsie is one of those things that has so many severities. Just who it is saying mini painter, not so severe. Nuclear engineer, yeah. I agree. Differing degrees of whoopsie for sure. So you're saying you don't think there'll be space there? The tables, or are you saying you don't doubt there will be space? All right. Yeah, I'm thinking that's the setup for it. Ah, okay. I see now. I just want to meet the cat. They'll have to watch me like a hawk, though. I might try and take cat home with me. Come over, meet the cat. Yeah, one of these days. Oh, really? So he's not 100% cool with the crowds. Okay. I've seen a couple cats that are like, business cats, store cats kind of thing, and they're like so chill. Doesn't matter how many people or how noisy it gets. They're just doing their little cat thing. He's very aloof. Ah, okay. Well, cats' personalities differ a lot. Did did Newt meet him at the business, the store kitty? Oh yeah. Well, I'm about as calm as they come. Unless, of course, I just finished driving through Atlanta traffic, then I'm probably kind of a wreck at that point. But the cat would calm me down instantly. Oh, her trip got cut to just workshop. That's right. That's a bummer. Although, was the workshop fun? I mean, was it at least cool as it sounded? Very, very, very cool. I'm sad I didn't get to go. Ever since I started watching Perception Studio, I've really wanted to get into making some puppetry. They do such good stuff, and they're so the character, just absolute characters. Characters playing characters because they play D&D in felted mode, which is hilarious. So if you've never seen them and you like D&D and you like puppets, or think you might like any of those, check out Perception Studios. They're hilarious. Definitely 100% not child friendly though. Don't let your kids watch them. The adult topics are there. Everything, anytime you've done anything down there, it's been amazing. Cool, very cool. About done with his hair. Then we can work on those little jade beads that are holding the hair, I think. This was definitely the right choice. This black flat brown, I think, works really well. It has a little bit of the same characteristics of the Doom Bull, but it's a little more in line intensity wise, not as bright and poppy. Cat, don't get under my feet, please. I'm trying to paint. And you're just trying to snooze. I get it, but leave my feet alone. Okay, there we go. The hair is done. Whew. My God, it did not take 3 hours. I'm amazed. It almost did. I mean, not really, but it took a good long time. I hate that we did not get to the freehanding. I really wanted to get to that, but I don't think we're going to. We're gonna finish up the jade, I think. And that's probably gonna be it. We might get to the scrolls, back to the scrolls. But for right now, we're going to work on that jade because it's part of the hair, and that's what we were working on last. So we're going to come in with some calibite green, not sybarite, calibite green this time, and work around the bottom edges of the beads. Oh, hell's bells. Well, we have snapped her right off the base. I got some blue tack somewhere. Let me see if I can find it and we can stick her back on temporarily. Here we go. This will work. Hopefully did not damage her feet or anything in the process of doing that. We're trying to brace as good as we can here. Because we're painting the darker underside of the bead. Oops. But we also don't want to ooh, there's a good bit of black underneath that we forgot. We will come back in and fix that. She's falling over. Jeez, Minnie. This is why I don't like using blue tack, because it just doesn't hold. It's too soft, too sticky. I like my super glue because it holds firmly and doesn't flop all over the place. The caplite is very translucent, so you have to work in some layers with it. But the intention is to get some of that kind of, or make these beads that kind of milky green jade. That's what we're shooting for here. See, it's just folding right over. I can't put any pressure on it. Just drives me nuts. We may have to take a break and just super glue this baby back down because I can't deal with that model doing like this nonstop. Sorry, we're not in frame, are we? No, I think we are. There we go. Now we're going to work on this first bead up here, slightly larger one. All right, now we'll add a little bit of what do we want to add? I think we'll add a little ivory to that. So we'll add some ivory and some bright green to lighten it up. Super right real quick, get a little blend. And back to the other. And we're probably going to do a little bit of the same right in here. Blend this out a little bit. Ooh, is it almost that? It is almost that time, isn't it? Well, snuck up on us. We started out kind of slow and woo, it just went crazy. Folks, that is a Willow link that leads to all my socials. So if you would like and follow and subscribe and all that stuff, it is a free thing to do. Don't cost you nothing. Make you a lot cooler if you did. And you could kind of keep up with me when I'm actually doing things. So that would be great. Got a couple more minutes. We're going to try and finish up this beaded area real quick. There we go. That works pretty well. If you would just stand, just quit being a heifer and stand up. That would be great. Jeez, Minnie. All right. We'll work a little bit on these scrolls before the time's up. We got about 7 more minutes. Just about made a boo-boo, didn't we? We're just kind of working this old paper up a little bit. It's actually a mixture of sand and raw sienna. This is left over from when I was doing some aged wood, and I think it works pretty well for these scrolls. All right. Just going to take that same color that we're using and mix a little sand into it. Not real sand, but the paint sand. That might be too bright. We might have to step back down a little bit. Just see how that looks when it dries. Actually, I think that'll work just fine. 2 more minutes. All right. I think that's about as good as we're going to get for today. I thank everybody that came out and hung out with me a little bit. Again, that Willow link leads to my social medias. I would appreciate any likes and follows there, especially since it is a free thing to do. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me while I painted Linh Ly. We didn't quite finish her. I was really hoping to finish her up. But really all that's left is the scroll work and then the freehand on her clothing. And then we can start this beast here, the page thing around her. I'm going to be doing a good bit of work with the airbrush on this piece. So wasn't really conducive to the stream anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, the figure herself is almost done other than the scrolls and the freehand. So pretty pleased with how she looks. I might do just a touch more highlight up on that jade, but otherwise good to go, I think. Again, thanks for hanging out. Hope to see you guys in future streams. I won't be here next week, but we'll have another painter. And then I'll see you the first week of July, I think. As long as Wednesday doesn't fall on the 4th. I don't know. But anyways, we'll see you shortly.